Hello and welcome to the Quarantined Wargamer. I'm Big Lee, and today I wanted to discuss the possibility that maybe lockdown or quarantine or whatever it's called where you live might actually turn out to be the most productive time for our hobby. So at the time of filming this here in the UK, there's been a lockdown for about 6 or 7 weeks now, and certainly I've spent a large amount of that time at home, partly because I'm working from home, but also I work part-time anyway, and obviously we're not going out at the weekend, so I've had a lot more time on my hands. And it occurred to me at the weekend that this might actually be the most productive I've ever been. Now normally I'm very productive in the winter months, so from about the middle of December to the middle of March, because I take part in something called the Analog Painting Challenge. Now for those of you that don't know that, I well recommend looking up the blog and the site for that. Basically an informal competition run by an excellent gentleman called Kurt from Canada, and he normally gets about 70 or 80 painters to join in, and we all set our own personal targets for what we want to get painted over the preceding 3 months. And for me, I usually pick an amount that is slightly out of my comfort zone, and so far I've always managed to get it done. So I always find that the Analog Painting Challenge is absolutely, I'm very busy right up to the end, and then I'm all spent. I can't face looking at a paintbrush for another couple of months, which is great because during the end of March and April I tend to have several big shows I am attending, and I basically concentrate on buying new stuff, restocking all the supplies I've used during the challenge, and I'm quite happy to not look at a paintbrush for weeks. But of course this time round things have been very different. Most of the shows that I would normally go to have been cancelled, and I found myself at home with not a lot else to do other than to concentrate on getting some painting done, and I normally wouldn't be doing any at this point. So I was thinking about it, all the different ways in which I've been trying to get my hobby, keep it going while in lockdown, and it did occur to me that this is something of a golden age for me, and I'm exploring many more different ways of keeping my hobby alive. I'm playing in different formats with different groups. I've managed to make contact with old groups. I've been through all this in some of my other videos. So I wanted to discuss that possibility a little bit further in today's video. Now, anecdotally, chatting to friends, other social groups, forums and so on, it seems I'm not alone in thinking that this is a very busy period for us. I mean, some people obviously have got a lot of time on their hands because unfortunately they're either out of work or been furloughed, or then there'll be people like me that have got more spare time because I'm working from home, which means I've got less commuting and so on. And we all seem to have been making that extra effort, going that extra mile to keep our social groups going because we can't meet up at the club or at a friend's house. All the usual activities that we do, as well as gaming. So we've been trying to make sure that we keep in touch by things like painting chat sessions and remote gaming, and I'm not alone, and a lot of the people I've been speaking to seem to have been doing exactly the same. So anecdotally, everyone that I have been speaking to seems to be as busy as I am during this period. There seems to be a lot of solo play games going on, which you'd come to expect obviously at this particular time. But also, as I've mentioned before, people are finding new ways of doing their games, utilising technologies that perhaps we've never entertained up till now. And there's lots of painting going on. The Analog Hobbies site has got up a quarantine challenge at the moment for people to post what they've been painting, and although I admittedly haven't put a lot of my stuff on there, I've been following it and enjoying quite a lot of stuff that's been going up onto that blog. So people clearly are still hitting the brushes, painting stuff, painting armies. Sometimes they're painting them for new games that they're preparing for. So everyone I can see still seems to be very busy. Now, I've mentioned this before in other videos, but it seems that people are finding as many new technologies as they can to continue gaming. So we've seen plenty of games using Zoom as a way of letting multiple people join into a game People are using Discord. Now that's a program that would be very familiar to online gamers, and to some role-playing groups, and indeed I've been using it for a role-playing game with some old friends. But I've seen a couple of people have been using Discord as a way of running a war game with multiple players and multiple camera angles, and also programs like Roll20, which is primarily aimed at role playing, and there's a tabletop simulator. Now I haven't used it a lot, but I have heard quite a bit about it in recent weeks, so it's something worth checking out, which is literally a tabletop simulator. You still need to know the rules and play it, but that's maybe something that I'm going to check it out in the next few weeks, and it'd probably be worth you having a look at as well. So there's lots of technologies that people are employing to keep things going at the moment. As well as all this activity, there seems to be an outbursting of creativity as well. I've seen a lot of people posting free content, new rules, artwork, maps on their websites and on their blogs, and I've been involved in and have joined several different online groups for different types of games, different communities, and obviously still using the old types of online forums that we probably used before, been relying on them much more as a way of keeping in touch with people. And we've also seen various companies making content available for free, Osprey being one, and new products are still coming out even though we're in this period of lockdown. So there is, it seems to me anyway, that there is an outbursting of creativity at this time, as well as a lot of extra activity, because we're all going that extra mile to keep our hobby alive at the moment. Now obviously it goes without saying that the current circumstance, the coronavirus pandemic, is terrible. I mean, there can't be a family in the country, or indeed the world, that hasn't been touched by this in some way. And despite these dark times, people need to find positives to hang on to, and so it's been a rewarding experience, if anything, for me to be able to be involved in so many games and to see so much creativity, productivity and energy in our hobby at the moment, because I think we're probably going to need that going forward, because this isn't going to be over soon. We're looking for the long haul here. When people refer to the new normal, they of course mean that this is going to go on for the next 9 months, 12 months, maybe longer. So it's good to see this burst of creativity and productivity, because that's what's going to sustain our hobby in the long term. So as usual, I just wanted to sign off by saying that I hope you're well, and that I hope your family are well, and obviously I hope that you're managing to get through during these very difficult times. As always, I'd love to hear from you. If you've got any comments to do with what I've been discussing today, do you agree with me, do you disagree with me? Have you got something to say that I perhaps haven't thought about? Please leave some comments below, or indeed pop over to my blog, Big Lee's Miniature Adventures, and leave some comments there, or you can find me on the Posties Rejects Facebook page. So that's it for me today. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you next week.